Good morning and my greetings to you all on Mother's Day today. Today's topic of discussion is spell of perception. What we perceive in this beautiful world is in fact the projection or creation of Universal Mother. Divine Mother has spread in front of us all that we perceive and feel through our senses. So it's a befitting topic on this particular and very auspicious day to remember Mother of the Universe and her manifestation in all mothers and in all motherly hearts, in all fathers. When it comes to perception, it means what we gather in through our senses. We have 5 senses, and all senses helps to gather us information, and then we perceive something, that is, we know something, we understand something. Perception is becoming aware, knowing something is called perception. Now what is spell? It becomes more spiritual when you say spell of perception, magic of perception, or joy of perception of this universe. So let us now begin with how beautiful we feel when we see visual treats in this spring season in this our beautiful city of Toronto, or anywhere in North America or in Europe, in Western world. After a long spell again of winter, we come to see the greens everywhere, trees with freshly born green leaves, and wonderful riot of colors of flowers of different shades and hues, tulips, daffodils, and the trees, and even the wild dandelion growing on green grass has such a spell of beauty that one who enjoys can enjoy. I have been recently to Florida, to our center in St. Petersburg, on the Bay of Tampa Bay. One day we had gone to see sunrise. The sun, we were waiting for sun to rise. And the sun, when it rose, was so glorious, just red in color, and big ball. How it became bigger than usual sun that we see in the sky. Why its color was so red, not the dazzling, glowing white as we see. So that was something beauty, that ball of red fire coming out from the womb of ocean, from Tampa Bay, was a sight to see, with the little clouds spreading here and there, as if they were taking care of the sun. And this all is perception. Sun was neither bigger than what we see in the sky, and the color of sun is also perception of our senses. It was the same color, fire emanating energy coming out from there, just that became a little distorted by the dust and water vapor, and with that, with the position of the horizon, it looked bigger and red and gradually orange in color. That is what the perception is. Perception sometimes is illusory. What we see is not exactly what it is. We'll come to that point. Let us take the example of moon. We feel that when moon rises, it's such a beautiful, round, bright thing in the heavenly thing in the sky. And when moon rises, people describe that how cool it becomes during summertime, when the night seems in the tropical countries very hot. When moon rises, people feel cool. But with moon there is no fall of temperature, but there is perception of cooling effect on our skin. And such a beauty is seen in the moon. But what really is moon? If you go closer and see moon, it's black in color, dusky, it's neither smooth, a lot of craters and mountains are there. It's not beautiful at all to look at when you look from the closer. But when we see from here, we perceive it as one of the most beautiful creation of God. That's what the perception is. This perception, when it brings to our inner being, often we are illusioned. We see what it really is not. And the whole world is, Vedanta says, is like that. What we see is not really as it is. Perception is always fraught with distortion. There is illusion in perception. We'll see what are the things that makes us perceiving and how we perceive an object in the right place we later on see. As if the creation spell of perception to make us illusion is not enough, there are people who want to be us in illusion. They are the promoters of illusion. For example, magicians, illusionists, they will come and really show something that will feel like real, but it's not real. You know the famous story of one P.C. Sarkar used to be there in India, a famous magician. Once he was to give a show at some time and he was getting late. And finally he came 1 hour late, almost 5 minutes to 1 hour late, 55 minutes late. And all the audience were very angry for this person. They were waiting impatiently to see this very famous magician. And they all started saying, "Why are you so late?" I said, "Why late? I am just on time. It said 5 minutes to show the program. You can see your watch." And everybody saw the watch. Really, it was 1 hour behind. It was supposed to get 7, but they all saw it getting 6, and the show was to start at 6 o'clock. It is still 5 minutes left to 6, and everyone had that illusion or hallucination. They promote that to entertain. After some time, when it really began, he took off the hallucination. Then they saw, yeah, it's already a little late. So that is other people, magicians, who promote illusion as if the illusion of the world is not sufficient to entertain and also to educate sometimes. Painters, you might have seen some painters who paint on the road, and it looks like as if it is 3-dimensional painting. Only there is 2 dimensions, only breadth and the length. And painting is there, and if you see the paintings I've seen in the internet and computers, it looks like as if somebody is standing there, somebody is doing the work, nothing is there, it's all on the 2 dimensions, flat on the ground. But there is 3-dimensional effect. There is also illusion. You feel people are standing, they are playing, some boy is there with a soccer ball there, but all is on the flat ground, nothing standing up. But it looks like as if it is 3-dimensional. Painters create illusion. Story writers, they tell the story, they write the story in such a way, we, in front of our eyes, you visualize the thing. Sometimes a story writer takes the story in such a way that it starts creating our love for the actor, the hero. And if something happens to hero, or a story writer really wants the hero to die, everyone is shocked and they will say, "Why did you make hero die? He should have lived." All in illusion. From story, it becomes as if a real thing was being said to us. So a story writer also sometimes can make us illusion. The most fine example of illusion is movie. We see in the movie the things moving, people speaking as if a continuous thing going on, and we know that it is the continuation of the small pieces of picture which are little smaller version of movement, and our brain is such that when there is a gap, sometimes it can fill up and make its own image. In movies, there are pictures which are not continuously moving. There are small pictures, but there are the gaps from one position to another. When there is no picture, our brain makes the picture there, and we see people hand moving, more talking, people walking, as if it is a continuous. That all is perception of our brain of the thing, and where brain acts as a filler in for the gap in perception. Now let us see how this perception we have, how we gather the knowledge of the thing outside. Let us take the example of visual perception. What we see a thing, how does it work? When the electromagnetic waves of certain wavelength falls on our eyes from an object, reflected from the object, we see that object. How do we see? First, the rays, the stimulus comes in our eyes' internal layer called retina. On the retina there are photoreceptor cells. They are stimulated by those electromagnetic waves. And an image is formed, inverted image is formed in the eye, just upside down. And it is two-dimensional image. And that image is carried through the brain center at the back of our brain by millions of nerve fibers grouped together to form optic nerves. And in the brain, that image that was sent from the retina is re-inverted and made it as it is. And then the spatial quality is given to it, color is given to it, and we all can see in the brain the thing as it is. That is our perception of the thing coming through our eyes. In fact, in our brain, we receive innumerable stimuli through all the 5 sense organs. And brain is such an organ that it does not register all stimuli. If it would, there would be chaos. So many of our stimuli that go into the brain are just avoided and ignored. And only those are received and registered which are meant for our survival. So many sounds come to our brain, so many visions come to our brain. How much do we remember? How much does it affect our brain? How much is registered in our brain? Only those which we need. So what we perceive is our selective perception. We want that to be registered in our brain. We want that to be aware ourselves, and that much we are aware. That whatever is needed, rest is ignored. That is the psychology of perception. The greatest illusion of perception is mirage. Swami Vivekananda said when he went to Rajasthan, he was in search of water, and he saw suddenly a water pool is there. He went there and found, there was no water. Then it flashed to him, this is mirage about which I have studied for so many times, so many years ago. I was very aware. But when it came in actual perception, I forgot that, and I felt as if there is really a water body there on the ground. So we know how this mirages are formed. That hot layer of air is there, and above the cold layer, and there is total internal reflection, and the thing appears as if there is water, there are trees, the shadow of the trees, and sometimes even cities are seen in mirage. Mirage is a beautiful example of perception of illusion. And there is great deception in this perception. It looks like as if it is real. Mirage, when it is seen, people feel it is real. And they say, it's like animals often are deceived too. It's not only human being, and they run there and they find nothing. Now, when these stimuli come to brain, how do we perceive? What are the things that are brought to our brain, and how much do we perceive? Do we see exactly what is there? If we analyze, we'll say no. Because brain, whatever stimuli is brought, brain reads only a portion of that. It cannot read whole thing. Lot of things come. So there is already a distortion or already a share of what comes to us. So it is not full thing our brain is registering. The second thing is, there is called arthadhyasa. The stimulus energy is subject to distortion. Whatever is brought is not right always. There is distortion. It is called arthadhyasa. There is one thing called adhyasa, which is superimposition. Something, there is what is real, there is something else is superimposed. There is something there, but we don't see that thing as it is, we distort it. There are many reasons to distortion. One is, what is brought itself is not complete. Second, what is brought is distorted by the sensory system. The third is, senses themselves are limited. The door to our perception themselves have limited power. They can fully understand the thing. They don't bring the information in total. So it will be limited information given to the brain. And the lastly and most important thing that what we perceive is not what it is that what we see is in fact the stimuli plus our brain. What we see, something comes to our brain, and then our mind, whatever it had the impressions, that is added to it, and we then figure out the thing. That is the perception. Swami Vivekananda said, the whole universe is like the pearl which is being formed by us. We are forming the pearl. As the pearl is formed, we form the universe that we perceive. How it is? What we get from the external world is simply the blow. That is the stimulus. Even to be conscious of that blow, we have to react. And as soon as we react, we really project a portion of our own mind towards the blow. And when we come to know of it, it is really our own mind as it has been shaped by the blow. Therefore, it is clear, even to those who want to disbelieve, who want to believe in a hard and fast realism, that supposing we represent the external world by X, what we really know is X plus mind. And this mind element is so great that it has covered the whole of that X, which has remained unknown and unknowable throughout. And therefore, if there is an external world, it is always unknown and unknowable. What we know of it is as it is molded, formed, fashioned by our own mind. What we perceive is something outside there plus our mental addition to that, and then we make the image. The famous example is that stump of the tree. Swami Vivekananda used to put in his language, there was a stump of tree, and in the dark, a thief came that way and said, that is a policeman. A young man waiting for his beloved saw it and thought that was his sweetheart. A child who had been told ghost stories took it for a ghost and began to shriek, but all the time it was the stump of a tree. So how the perception goes wrong with our impressions and what we have inside us already made. So, why do only child, even the grown-up persons see ghosts when they are in dark and alone, they go and see something, the ghost coming, even the shadow seems like ghost. So, it's not only the children that Swamiji has said, even the grown-up man, what they have heard and have impression from their childhood, that works up when they are grown up. I cannot remain alone in this house. Some people ask me, Swamiji, how do you live in this house alone? They might be referring to the why aren't you afraid of ghosts? Like that thing. So, that's how we have the spell of perception, magic of perception. We see the things so beautiful and good. We see the thing ugly and ignoble. All these are, most cases, there is something external and our mind says, we like something, I like tulip flower. I say, oh, there is so beautiful, nothing like this tulip flower in the world. Another person doesn't like tulip and he likes daffodil, Wordsworth. He would like daffodil. What do you say, Mr. Kripamayananda? The tulip is not most beautiful. Daffodil is the thing most beautiful. And he wrote a beautiful poem on daffodils. So it depends on our impressions, samskaras, tendency, that how we like the thing that we perceive present outside. This magic of perception is always there. Now, this superimposition of our mind in Vedanta is called adhyasa. There are two types of adhyasa. One is called arthadhyasa and another is jnanadhyasa. Arthadhyasa is the adhyasa superimposition that is affected by the incoming stimulus. Whatever is there, that comes and that is little distorted, that doesn't come fully. And jnanadhyasa is whatever we have impression that this arthadhyasa, something coming not fully, not correct, and again our mind projecting something, and both this adhyasa combined together and make us perceive the thing outside external us. So whenever we see something as ugly, ignoble, we should understand there is adhyasa, something wrong in our brain and something wrong in our study of the external object, that's the thing coming out. The love, the friendliness, those are more correct and truer. The hatred and jealousy are more false perception. Because the truth is that whole is one. We all are one. The perception of individuality and separation from the universe itself is adhyasa and distorted perception. Perception of unity, perception which is made by love, kindness, compassion is truer perception because the truth is the whole existence is one. So that type of perception, when we have wrong perception, we must understand there is something wrong in my study, in my samskaras, in my mind, something wrong in my mind. Those saintly persons whose mind are clean, they find good everywhere, even in the people who others, the whole world say that is ugly, the person of illumination will see goodness in them. And if you are perfectly pure in mind, they will see nothing but God. We have stories like that. One woman of not very good repute used to come to Holy Mother, and people, devotees, saw only evil in that Holy Mother, only incompleteness in that lady, and the devotees saw, but Holy Mother saw a soul, purity like that. And they said, don't bring her. If she comes, I will not go to you. Holy Mother said, no, she will come. She is my daughter. Holy Mother could feel everyone. Today's Mother's Day is very nice to refer to Holy Mother Sarada Devi, who could see everyone as her children. Whether good or bad didn't matter for her. Every human being was best. As we love our children, she used to love them. We don't find defects of our children. If we find defects, we know that can be removed. We don't hate our children. Defects we know that it is removable. In other person we say it persists, that is defective. Our son or our daughter has got some mistakes. So Holy Mother also was not ignorant of what some people did, not very right thing, but that didn't make her feel that they are separate, they are not her own. She could make the whole human beings, the men and women, as her children. That is because of her purity of mind. Mind was so clear, it never distorted. When we see evil outside, it is distortion of our mind. In Holy Mother's case, it was never distorted by her mind. Everything that as it existed outside, she could perceive inside because her mind was clean. So this Vedanta acknowledges three orders of existence. One is called Paramarthika Satta, the relative plane. Another is Vyavaharika Satta. The Paramarthika is the absolute existence. The Vyavaharika is the relative existence, and Pratibhashika Satta is the illusory existence. So what we see the world is actually the Vyavaharika Satta. is not the Paramarthika. When we are able to see Paramarthika, the Absolute, we will see only God, we will see only love, we will see only goodness in the world, everywhere. Whenever we see something less than that, then we are in the Vyavaharika Satta, the plane of the illusion. It's illusory. Pratibhashika we understand, it just seems, we also understand it's not true. For example, a pencil is dipped obliquely in a half glass of water, and the pencil looks it's broken, or it's not straight, it's oblique. So we know that is because of the distortion. That is called Pratibhashika Satta. I know that it is straight, it is not broken, but it looks like broken and bent because of the some law of vision, optical laws. So that becomes Pratibhashika Satta. In fact, whenever we see something wrong in the world, that it becomes Pratibhashika Satta. Anything evil, anything unloving, anything hateful, then it is not, you are not even in the line of illusion. You are actually at the level of Pratibhashika Satta, at the level of illusory, not even relative, you are at the illusory level. So to quote Swami Vivekananda again, we do not know anything about this universe, yet at the same time we cannot say that we do not know. This standing between knowledge and ignorance, this mystic twilight, the mingling of truth and falsehood, and where they meet, no one knows. We are walking in the midst of a dream, half sleeping, half waking, passing all our lives in a haze. This is the fate of every one of us. This is the fate of all sense knowledge. This is the fate of all philosophy, of all boasted science, of all boasted human knowledge. This is the universe. This is what he says about how we perceive the things, and nothing that we perceive through our senses is wrong. In Mandukya Karika it is said, the universe is unreal. Why? Because we perceive it. Whatever is perceived through our senses is unreal, is incorrect. That's what it is said. Unreal in the sense, it's not that there is nothing there. It is not as we perceive it. That's the point of Vedanta. It's not that world illusory means there is nothing in the world. There is world, but world is not as we see it. It is something different, and our perception is distorted. That only the Vedanta saying is. It is all Brahman, and we see it as multifarious and multiformated universe. It is all joy and bliss, and we see it as suffering. That is the position of Vedanta. Vedanta says, if you want to be happy in this world, really happy, eternal happiness, then he says, search that real in these fleeting objects, unreal objects that you see every time changing, every moment it is not what it was in the previous moment. Can you see the real Nityo Anityanam, Chetanas Chetananam? And can you see the consciousness underlying everything that you find conscious? Can you separate the conscious from the consciousness through your intellect? Nityo Anityanam, Chetanas Chetananam, Eko Bahunam. Can you see oneness among these varieties? Plant, trees, human being, varieties of human being, all this separation. Can you find underlying reality, that one reality that goes through everyone, that existence? Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. And that one reality that underlies every unreal object, seemingly fleeting and changing object, there is real thing. Can you see that? If you could see that, Tesham Sukham Shashvatam Netaresham. To that person there is happiness. What type of happiness? It is eternal, unchanging happiness which will never be changed. That person will never be morose and sorrow and sad and painful and suffer. If one could see consciousness among the conscious being, one among many, and eternal and real among the unreal. That's what Kathopanishad says, and that is the purpose. How could we do that? That is the thing. A young man once asked Sri Ramakrishna, if the world is of the nature of illusion, magic, then why doesn't one get rid of it? The master replied, it is due to the samskaras, inborn tendencies. Repeated birth in this world of Maya make one believe that Maya is real. Because we have been conditioned that way through many births, and taking this universe, this perception as real, that's why we cannot find something real behind this, our real perception, so-called real perception. There is something real behind this real perception. Now, how do we perceive? We have 5 instruments for the perception of this universe. And if we do not guide them properly, if we let loose them and do make them right as they like, then there is our death and destruction. Shankaracharya said in Viveka Chudamani that Shabdadhivi pancha bhireva pancha panchattvapu sagunena baddha Puranga matanga patanga mina bringanara pancha bhiranjita kim. There are 5 organs that make 5 animals meet certain destruction. And he said the example of Puranga matanga patanga mina bringa. Puranga is deer. Deer gets destruction because of his high ability to uncontrolled following of hearing. It just gets matched with hearing. Matanga is elephant. It cannot control the perception of touch. Patanga is sight. When a fly or butterfly sees something bright, it just goes and jumps into it. Meena is fish, which is supposed to go for the taste. When it gets something tasteful, it goes there and is caught up. And Vringa is bumblebee, which is caught by its attraction towards smell. It got into the flower and so often it got caught into the flower and dies. But Shankara says, one of these animals has got one sense uncontrolled, and the mind is led by that sense, and it meets its destruction. Whereas in human beings, all these 5 are fully developed, and if they are not controlled, how easy for human being to get into the trap for the destruction. So, oh man, be careful, be aware to control your mind and save yourself, otherwise you will meet destruction. So controlling the perceptive organs or sense organs is often emphasized much for attaining this peace and happiness in Vedanta. How this perception, you see, when Arjuna was not ready to fight in the battle, Sri Krishna says, Arjuna said, how can I fight and kill my grandsire, Bhishma, my teacher, my cousins? No, it's not possible for me. Sri Krishna says, do you think what you perceive is real? That they are added to you to fight? Then see. And he sees, Sri Krishna, Arjuna sees that everyone is dead. God has killed already there. Sri Krishna says, Mayai vaite nihata purvameva. Arjuna, they are all killed by me. Already they are dead. You see them, you perceive them as real and fighting to you. But see, and he shows that all are dead on the battleground. You just make a show of putting arrow on your bow and shoot with that, as if it will be seen as if you are killing. But you are not killing, you are not agent. The killing, surviving, giving birth, it is I who do. Nothing you can do in the world. I am the doer, Lord is the doer. The people here only perceive themselves as the doer, and that is the spell of perception. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. Karta, bhokta, ahamiti is born of ignorance, is born of spell of perception. So don't think that you are the doer. Neither are you the doer, nor are you the enjoyer. Why? I eat a nice food and I enjoy it like so much. No, you are not enjoying. You are just observing. Enjoy your ego, which you are not. Your ego enjoys and you feel, oh, I am enjoying. The taste buds enjoys, the brain cells enjoys, mind feels it's tasty. Not you. You are neither mind, nor taste buds, nor brain. You are witness, just seeing what is going on. Just see the whole world as a movie going on, 3D movie. When you go to the 3D movie, the thing comes to your eye, and as if it will touch. Nothing, you open the glass and see, oh, it's over there on the screen. It's all 2D, but it has become 3D. The whole movie is 2D, in fact, the whole creation, the whole world going on, and we all have put the 3D glasses, and you see a 3D and are disturbed by this wonderful play of show of sometimes birth, sometimes goodness, sometimes music, sometimes horror going on, but all enjoyable. Some people go to see horror movies, they go destruction, killing, fighting, violence, but they enjoy. Oh, what a fantastic movie. Like that in the world. Tsunami, this thing, that nice thing, something with terrorists. All a man of knowledge will say, oh, it's going on. It's just like a movie going on. Nothing is truly real in this perceptive world. That's what it is said. Now, how to use these different sense organs for our realization of the true perception, which is beyond the perception of the senses. I want to perceive the reality. If sense organs, if our perceptive organs distort the vision, can I have the reality without their intermediation? Vedanta says, yes, you can understand the reality by ignoring the sense organs. But you will have to that state by using your sense perception. Suppose, for example, we have 5 sense organs. So how can you use best use of eyes, ears, the tongue and nose and all those, and then we reach the state when they don't distort our vision, our perception. How can we use eyes? We can use how to discipline the eyes. We can use eyes to see image of God. It makes us pure. When you see an image, a beautiful statue of God, image of God, or just your awareness, go to the mosque or a Gurudwara where there is not even an image, but you feel you are seeing something holy, something holiness comes to you. That helps to transcend the weakness of our vision. It becomes more pure, the mind becomes pure. And picture or awareness of God, that all makes us pure. Sri Ramakrishna with his pure mind went to see anything, and he always saw something good in that. He went to see Jew and saw a lion and reminded of Mother Durga. Everything was him associated with God. The lion was something eating flesh or something enjoying how nice color. No, he was gone to that. He went to Samadhi by seeing a Vahana of Mother Durga. He went to Asiatic society and saw a skull. Some say, oh, so dangerous. Children will not like to see the skull. What Sri Ramakrishna said, oh, like this are the things are joined together with a string as it were. That is what the body is. Different bones are tied together by some strings, tendons, and we know that all those things that tie bones together, and that's what we call body, and we love it so much as if it is a temporary thing. So it makes you vairagya with that thing. And he went to circus. And all people were enjoying that the lady jumping on the horseback and going through the ring. And Sri Ramakrishna was saying, wonderful, what a practice. The lady jumping as soon as the horse goes beneath the ring, big ring, and lady jumps through the ring, and horse goes further and just drops on the back of the ring again, back of the horse again. So what Sri Ramakrishna says in this sport, how much practice that lady must have done that she can be so perfectly alight on the back of the horse passing through the ring. So if one practices like this in spiritual practice, so he can attain God, he can become perfect. Everything connected with God. So they say, avoid television, go for God vision. Then how our ears can do? We pray that, oh Lord, may our ears hear what is good. Adram karne visrinuyama devaha, karnabhyam bhuri visrivam. May I hear, Lord, of goodness through my ears. That is the prayer. May these organs of senses be used for spirituality. Leela Kathasravan, hearing of the stories of avatars and saintly persons. Those all make our ears pure, and the more we hear those, less of distortion when perceiving the world, less of that thing. Then the devotional song, that's so wonderful purifier of our ears and of our mind, that is to be used in that way. They're beautiful devotional song in all languages. Swami Vivekananda said that songs are one of the best means of spiritual practice for lover of music. The music is the divine spiritual practice. How we use nose? Nose gets all the smells. So we can decorate the image again, or the worship corner with beautiful flowers, fragrant flowers, and fragrance incense stick burn, and we get that smell, and immediately when we are adjusted with that, we go and we get that smell, our mind soars and all other thoughts go away, and the thought of divine comes, and we sit for meditation. Our awareness, our concentration will be more clearer. That way we can use our notes for our spiritual practice and for the love of God. People often in the worship will find people use scent. That is the purpose of using scent. Aguru they call in Bengal, or other scent. That is also something spiritual fragrance that makes our nose trained in such a way. That's whenever we get, oh, something of godliness is here, so we get trained. The tongue is the greatest problem. Sometimes it so pulls us to good food and tasty food, and we often are pulled it. So the desire for taste is so strong. It is said in the Bhagavata, if one could control the taste of the palate, he could control all sense organs. It is so strong attraction, they say. So how can we use this tongue? Tongue can be used to repeat the name of God, and whenever we eat, we can feel that Naham Bhukta, I am not eating, it is being offered. Brahma, Pranam Brahma, we chant. That means we are offering the food to the fire that is inside, not for the enjoyment of my taste buds. So if we could be a little aware of that, that would be the purification of our tongue. Then to eat the things that is offered. Sri Ramakrishna was once given bitter leaves, and someone had already taken the bitter leaf from that plate. Sri Ramakrishna said, oh, I'm sorry, I cannot take this bitter leaf. The devotee said, what has happened? He said, somebody has already taken from this. So what does that matter? Somebody has taken his own portion, take other things. Sri Ramakrishna said, what you say is true, that nothing affects the whatever is remaining. But what happens, before I eat anything, I offer to God, to Mother. And whatever has been taken a portion from that cannot be offered to Mother. That's why I cannot take this bitter leaf. The devotee, the host, was a little annoyed with Sri Ramakrishna this thing, but Sri Ramakrishna did not heed up with this and did not take. So offering food to God, that's one very nice example to make the food purified. Girish Ghosh used to consume alcohol, he used to drink, and he was not able to give up that. Sri Ramakrishna didn't say him, give up drinking. You will not be able to practice spirituality with your habit of drinking, and he used to be drinker, he was a drunkard. So he said very nicely, can you do one thing? Can you offer the wine to Mother Kali before you drink? First, bringing Mother Kali slowly into his process of drinking wine. So he started doing that. To offer the Mother. Mother, take this. Mother is the Mother of universe. Everything is made by the Mother, and Mother belongs to everything. You cannot offer wine to Krishna or Ramakrishna, but you can offer wine to Divine Mother, Mother Kali. She can take anything. Matsya, Mangsha, Madira, anything she can take, because she is all, total, full existence is she. So he started offering that, and really gradually what happened at the ultimate, of course there are many factors, Sri Ramakrishna's grace itself was a factor. Girish Ghosh later turned into a perfect saint, gave up all vices that he had to practice in life, gave up drinking totally, and he became a saintly person. What is said in the Gita, Apichet Suduracharo Bhajate Mamanannabhak Sadhureva Samantabhya Samyak Vyavasito Isa. If anyone doing all evil things has given up those and taken up to a good way, has become devotee of mine, treat him or her as a sadhu, sadhureva samantabhya. And this is the perfect example. Girish Ghosh, how by the grace of Sri Ramakrishna and by following the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, he became a perfect saint. And he gave up wine altogether, and he started by offering. So when we offer food before eating, just thinking of God, every religion has that grace system, and that makes the food pure and that will gradually lead to control of our taste buds. The last one is touch. So touch also can be purified. This, through which we get the perception of feeling, can also be purified. We can imagine the feet of Lord and touching with mind. That's wonderful. Sometimes there is a statue and we really touch and feel, oh, this is Lord. Here is Holy Mother's feet. Some people say, Swami, when I touch it, I feel so soft. It is not soft. That may be illusion, but that is wonderful illusion that will lead us towards getting rid of illusion. When you feel Holy Mother's feet, just feel that it is real feet, soft we are feeling. With that feeling, if you touch, then there is the purification of the process of this sensation of touch. As it is said, God is everywhere. Everything you touch, Swami Ashwakananda used to say, everything you touch, feel it is God. Everything is God. There is nothing in the universe that is not God. Only you don't realize it because your perception is wrong. That's why you see it at the table, it is the microphone. But everything is beset with the God in every part of every subatomic particle is there. Nothing but God. That's what they say. Now, Swami Vivekananda said that the realization of truth is the ultimate goal. We need to have the correct vision. We need to perceive God. And he said wrote a beautiful poem for Prabhupada Bharata. And he said, be bold and face the truth. When truth is seen, everything melts. Even our ego melts, even our individuality melts. And to that, to give up our individuality, our essence, our ego-ness, you need something courage. It is difficult. We are so much identified with ourselves, little small ego, that we don't want to give. Be bold and face the truth. Be one with it. Be one with the truth. Completely immerse your ego in that and be infinite. What will happen when we become one with truth? All our visions will cease. This wonderful universe which we perceive with our five senses, nothing will remain there. Then let vision cease. This vision will go. What will be there then? There will be all joy and bliss. There was nothing, these were all, but this magic of perception of that universal mother, Mahamaya, has shown in front of us. This wonderful movie she is showing, and this movie I thought it was a true. And was crying, what has happened to me? That we'll see, and we'll understand, we'll wake up, we'll come out of the cinema theater, and then we'll see the reality. Oh, there was no cinema, there was all movie going on, presented by the Universal Divine Mother. Let vision cease, if you cannot. If it is too difficult to become one with the existence, to give up our ego altogether, to deny the relations or that what we have, we feel my and mine, then what should we do? It's not for everyone. Then dream. That the dream we are dreaming. Dream but truer dreams. There are two types of dreams. One is truer dreams, good dreams, happy dreams we often feel. Oh Swami, that was a wonderful dream I saw. I saw some monk there. I saw God there. I saw wonderful that scene that I had that. Good dreams, not horrible dreams. Swami Vivekananda says, if you cannot let this vision go and be one with the truth, then dream. But dream truer dreams. What are the truer dreams? Then dream truer dreams which are eternal love and service free. Love eternally to everyone as Holy Mother loved us and serve everyone without distinction. Those are also dreams. Those are also the two-dimensional thing we are making three-dimensional. But those are truer dreams, and that will lead us to the reality where the spell of perception will cease and will be one with the truth. We cannot say that we are perceiving the right thing, we are perceiving God. Now the distorted perception is gone and I am perceiving the right perception I have. I am seeing God. We cannot say when we really read the truth, because whatever remains, remains. Who will perceive whom? Who will see whom? That's how Vedanta describes when we read the truth. There is only one When there is two, there comes that seeing, understanding, perceiving. When there is only one thing, one essence, one reality, there is no perception. At that time, the perception, spell of perception, all ends, and what is